I'm going to talk about New York today because I think that Vegas is wrong about both the Jets and the Giants when it comes to the 2026 season. Let's talk about why. Ted Savransky, Teddy Covers from WagerTalk.com with two teams that I think Vegas is wrong about when it comes to the overall assessment. And I'm going to start with the New York Football Jets. No, not the Giants, the Jets, who have been the worst franchise in sports. The Sabres made the playoffs last year. Now it's 15 years since the Jets made the playoffs? I think that's the longest streak in professional sports, the longest active playoff drought in professional sports. It's 10 consecutive losing seasons for the Jets. They went 3-14 last year. They have 7 wins or less each of the last 5 seasons. And in the offseason, they didn't do a whole lot that bettors are excited about. Aaron Glenn returns for his second year as head coach. They bring in Geno Smith as the quarterback. And the general market consensus for the Jets is this team stinks just like they did last year and the year before and the year before that and the year before that, and et cetera, et cetera. And while I understand why the markets are down on the Jets, they have been bad forever. And Aaron Glenn did not inspire any confidence last year. And Geno Smith did not inspire any confidence with the Raiders last year. And all of that. All right. It's not like I'm looking at the Jets with rose-colored glasses. All right. Everyone knows how bad they've been. But when you actually grade out the personnel for the New York Football Jets, they're better than most last-place teams. And not that Geno will, but if Geno is decent, and from all indications, Geno Smith came into camp motivated, hungry, back for redemption in a place where he stunk early in his career. Terrible year last year in a franchise that fell apart early. If Geno is okay, the Jets have a chance to be a decent team. There's dumber bets to make than Jets to make. I see plus 800, 8-1 odds for the Jets to make the playoffs. There's dumber bets to make than that. But let me talk about the personnel for a minute, because again, this team, because they've been so bad so long, what happens? They're at the top of the draft every year, and you accumulate talent. When you talk about the greatest show on turf, the Rams, how did they go from last to first like that? And that's always the one that comes into my mind. They were so bad for so long that all of a sudden you look at the roster, you're like, wow, this team's got a bunch of guys. The Jets have a bunch of guys, man. They really do. When you look, they've solid offensive line. They drafted offensive line the last couple of years with the first-round pick of Fashel and Membo. You've got solid receivers, Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, a couple of number 1 picks. You have solid tight ends. You have, all the pieces on offense are there for this team to be. They don't have to be great. If they're decent, they're going to exceed expectations this year. I think there's upside for the Jets offensively. And it's the same story on defense. This defense has talent. Now, this is a defense that last year, the Jets finished minus 19 in turnovers last year, okay? So that arrow is pointed up. They're not going to finish minus 19 in turnovers this year. Glenn is calling the plays on defense this year, which he didn't do in his first year as the head coach. This is a bottom 6 team in yards per pass attempt. Smith was awful. They have a ton of dead money, et cetera, et cetera. Difficult schedule. I understand all this stuff. But defensively, you bring in an edge rusher like Bailey. It's not like the secondary has talent. There's a pass rush there. They shouldn't be gashed on the ground. And the turnover margin is supposed to be better this year. I'm not saying the Jets are elite. I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying they have a potential not to be bottom feeders. I think Vegas is undervaluing the New York Football Jets. I like the Jets as a concept coming into the 2026 campaign. And again, when you talk about a team where there's no betting bandwagon, a team that is universally ignored, sometimes you can find it, and a team that we're not going to see on TV a whole lot either. So if they are decent, I'm not saying they're going to be good. If they're decent, they're going to hold their value. Jets as a potential long shot this year. I'm going to talk about the Giants in just a minute. First, 2 things. I'll let you know what's going on. First, NFL season win report out and available. My NFL full season right now is available, $5.99. The win report is 107.56 over the last 25 years, 65% over a 25-year sample size. The big tickets are 17 and 5, 77% during that span. Get my full NFL season. Partner up with me right now. You'll get preseason, regular season, playoffs, and the win report. Normally priced $5.99, which is a deal. Take $50 off. Use promo code Teddy50 at checkout to get my NFL full season right now. Again, Teddy50 at checkout is going to get you $50 off the $5.99 package, and you'll get my NFL win report today. All the preseason, all the regular season, everything through the Super Bowl. No bullshit. Nothing more to buy. No bait and switch. No nonsense. Check it out. Again, Teddy50 at checkout. In addition, we got this great contest. Splashsports.com/WagerTalk. Password, WagerTalk. You get $100 back if you use that package. It's for a $1,000 Survivor. That's pricey. I get it. Well, you can win $21 million if you win it, so that'd be worth something. Again, it's kind of a cool concept. You'll be going with all the guys at WagerTalk are in this contest. Should be a lot of fun. Again, splashsports.com/WagerTalk. Password, WagerTalk to get involved with the $21 million Survivor pool. Now, let's talk about the New York Football Giants, team that the market seemed to be high. And obviously, when you bring John Harbaugh into a scenario where he's been a very successful head coach for a long time in Baltimore, and people say, expecting, that's going to carry over. And you look at the Giants as a team who have been, they've had 10 or more losses, 10 of the last 12 years. Like the Jets, they've accumulated a fair bit of talent, 4, 9, 6, 3, and 4 wins over the last 5 years. They have a veteran staff, Matt Nagy and Brian Callahan as the quarterback coach, Greg Roman as a senior assistant, and, of course, Harbaugh. What is that? That's a bunch of old guys, all right? Old guys who've had success elsewhere. And I'm not saying that they can't have success with the Giants. I'm just saying there seems to be this school of thought that, they got Harbaugh, they got all these veteran assistants. Immediately, everything's going to be better for the G-men. Look, Jackson Dart got hurt last year, and the offensive line's back. And look, Malik Neighbors off his ACL, and Cam Scadaboo's off his ankle, and everything's just going to come up roses for the G-men in 2026. There are things to like. I get it. There's potential for the Giants, but we also have basically every key player on the team coming off of injury, dealing with learning new schemes. There's no continuity in any of the schemes, and you have a head coach who isn't, and the GM answers to the head coach in New York. Now, the balance of power is a little bit different. There's no must-win now. There's no urgency for the Giants to win this season. I know Harbaugh hates to lose. We get all that. But it's not like the Giants are in position right here where you're like, they're primed to. There's still a lot of holes on this roster. There's still a very young QB learning a new offense with an offensive line that has some question marks. They have a new kicker and a new punter. There could easily be special teams issues this year for the G-men. Their schedule, no joke, is not going to be as hard as last year. Actually, they're the second toughest schedule in all of football, based on my powering number of the game the week the games were played. But this is no easy slate for the G-men. And again, I understand the arrows pointed upwards, but I also understand the urgency. Yeah, there's some, but first-year coach, bunch of young players, lots of learning going on. And I think market expectations are a little bit high on the G-men. And boy, those Giants fans you talk to, they're convinced to win the division, win the Super Bowl. I get it. I think the Giants, a little bit of an overvalued commodity in the betting markets right now. Not a team I'm excited about putting my money on in September of the regular season. So Jets undervalued, Giants overvalued. That's my take when you're talking about two teams that I think Vegas got wrong. What do you think? Tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. I can handle it. Like, comment, follow. We appreciate your help. We appreciate your support. And stay tuned right here on this channel for more quality video content from WagerTalk TV. Teddy50 is that promo code. If you want to partner up this football season, use it right now. WT.buzz/TC. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.